Stalking a monster bull. Monster bull.
Look at that whitetail. Well, this is camp for the next week here. We are up here in northern Alberta hunting with a very, very good friend of mine, Jeff Coyle, in what is going to be some pretty spectacular country. We rolled into camp this afternoon to Deluxe Wall Tents, our home away from home. Already set up, and it's been a good week in camp apparently. Guys killed 3 out of 4 bulls, got taken, plus 1 miss, so plenty of opportunity, and they ran into some tough weather conditions, so I think it's going to be a good week. And Darcy and I have the next 6 or 7 days, however long it takes, to try and get a big old Alberta bull on the ground. So what do you think?
Well, the truck's stuck.
Oh yeah, the truck is stuck. We got to deal with that tomorrow.
We had to the quad had to come rescue us, and the truck stayed put because it is still currently stuck in a mud hole. So that was a good start to the trip, but we'll go get it out tomorrow, hopefully.
Ever since this time last year, I've been forced to endure endless hours listening to my good friend Jeff Coyle brag to me about the incredible elk hunting he discovered in a brand new area. He told me about the remote landscape, the vast hillsides, and the endless number of screaming bull elk that were just begging to be killed. And exactly like every one of you listening right now, I wasn't buying it. I get it. I'm an Alberta elk hunter too, and I've spent the past 10 years scouring every corner of the province looking for anything that resembles a good elk spot. Somewhere that isn't crowded with people, and somewhere that the resident elk herd didn't grow up listening to hoochie mamas and hunter bugles. But let's be honest, I wasn't convinced that a place like that existed in Alberta's public land. But here's the thing. Jeff and I have been friends for a decade. We've partnered in business together and have trusted each other with some important tasks. And the only thing that allowed me to listen to his bragging was the simple fact that he's never lied to me before. He doesn't BS, and he's never steered me wrong. I asked the important questions and received all the right answers. And after doubling down on his confidence in the area, Jeff informed me that he had actually gotten his hands on some outfitting tags in the area and was going to be running a full-scale camp the following year. And after introducing me to his partner John, I was 100% committed to joining them in camp. You see, this was John's backyard. He grew up hunting here with his family, and he knew every inch of it. He knew the only way to get in there and ensured they never pressured the area. And the fact that he was willing to share it with us was incredibly generous. After a long day of travel, we finally arrived in camp and made a plan for the morning. Darcy and I would be going out on our own, and with the help of iHunter and a few pins, we arrived at our spot the first morning, anxious for what the week would bring.
Well, we're a little bit later getting out here than I thought. Jeff told us it'd be about a 30-minute quad ride. It's like 45, but we may have taken a detour. But we finally made it to where we're going to start our hike for the morning. We have no idea where we're going or what we're looking for. First day in a brand new area always brings a little bit of hesitation, but also some excitement. So I'm going to grab the bow and we're going to work our way just a little ways, and we're going to just start sending locate bugles out. And kind of the name of the game this morning is to cover ground and try to get a response. Pretty sure we're going to get soaked, because it's rained pretty good last night. This grass is tall and soaked. We're not wearing rain gear. But fingers crossed that we hear the first bugle of the 2024 elk season this morning. Release. Bear spray. Bugle tube.
Bugle reads. Tags. That's enough to kill an elk this morning. I just want to hear one. There's always something cool about the very first bugle of the year.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Wood Wheaton Super Center, Black Widow Innovations, the MD of Bonnyville, Deluxe Wall Tents, Hutto Knives, iHunter, and Wapiti River Outdoors. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by the MD of Bonnyville. Lake adventures happen here. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Wood Wheaton Super Center, a proud supporter of our outdoor heritage.
Well, I'm pretty sure the first bugle that we just heard is the bull that we're in here to try and come and kill. He's called the loon bull, and he sounds like a loon. And that was one of the weirdest sounding bugles ever. And then he fired up, and another bull hit him right after. And unfortunately, they're way back that way in the trees. And that's gonna suck going in there after him. That's pretty cool. There's some elk here. Mark it on iHunter. And probably try and chase some of these bugles down towards the river. The one bull's not that far. I'm waiting to hear where the other ones are. It's tough going though. It's wet. Wet and noisy. So he's just within 500 yards that way, I would say. The river's off to the left, to the east. There were 3 or 4 that bugled last time we stopped though, so I'm kind of waiting to see if any of them fire up too. Kind of looks like there's a bit of a staging area here. Bunch of big trees rubbed on, and I just want to see if I can hear them. I know there's one further. There's got to be 2 now that are fairly close. And if they'll give themselves away without me asking, it makes a world of difference. I think we're finally getting them cornered. We're pushing them back and back up against a big ravine from what I can tell on iHunter. And we're actually gaining ground on them. There's 3 really solid sounding bulls for sure going off on their own still. And there was 1 or 2 other ones further in the distance, but we're gonna keep pushing into these. And if they're gonna keep talking, we're gonna get as close as we can before we really try and... Like that bull's close. That's a different one too. So that's a satellite. Man, they're everywhere. I wonder if we should try and pull him back. Hard to go after the satellite when there's that thing. I think they're in the ravine. That bull's really close. It's hard not to at least see what he looks like. See if we can find a spot to set up and try and just... There's 2 close ones and some further ones.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Scree Gear, Top Notch Taxidermy Studio, Mad Ramps, Immenso Diving Equipment, Dive R Carbon Fins, and 5-Star Redneck. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Scree Canada, rugged hunting clothing for Canada's terrain. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Black Widow Innovations, Canada's top choice for broadheads built for Canadian big game.
Why don't we have to go to the mad one? He's telling me to come. That's what the chuckle is. Right down at the bottom of this ravine. But he's actually started chuckling. Chuckling at me now. Which tells me that he wants us to come. He's just up the other slope a little bit. That's the bigger herd bull, I think. Loves the cow call. He won't budge. He's right there, Dana. He's right there. Got him? Down right there. There's, we got him on the first morning. That is so cool. He come right in. I put him at 30 yards and the shot looked perfect. And he is laying dead, like 50 yards away, 60 yards maybe. What an exciting morning of elk hunting.
This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Tourism Saskatchewan. Experience the beauty of Saskatchewan for yourself.
He was standing right here, and my arrow's right there. Not the first time I've ever had a pass through on an elk. Trusty PX2, just covered in blood. You could even tell by the sound it made when it hit him. That doesn't look good. I didn't realize there was an actual creek in the bottom of this, and I seen him topple down the hill. And man, I hope he caught on something, because I don't want to be digging him out of the creek. Sure enough, right in the water. All things considered, for being in the creek, he's not in the worst spot possible, but what an exciting morning of elk hunting. I absolutely love the dark chocolate antlers that they have up here. The other bulls in camp that were taken this last week were all super dark, super heavy, crazy good genetics up here. And to be honest, it's a pretty special place to be able to come and chase elk. I'm extremely thankful to have the opportunity to come in here with Jeff Coyle and John and the entire operation and experience probably one of the craziest mornings of elk hunting I have ever experienced in my entire life. So he's a long ways back here. We're probably gonna spend the next day or more getting him out, but I wouldn't have changed it for anything. The entire hunt, the way it all happened, pretty heavy to hold. Pretty spectacular way that the hunt happened, the way he come in bugling and kind of did exactly what an elk is supposed to do. And really thankful I made a perfect shot. PX2 blew right through him. And I've got an incredible bull elk on the ground, the first morning of our hunt in northern Alberta. And it is going to suck getting him out of here, the more I think about it.
Well, I have not even hunted this fall yet, but I'm up for elk. We finally got Dana's packed out this morning, the second load, and so we kind of just hung out in camp all afternoon, and it actually seems like a pretty nice evening so far. There's a little bit of wind, but I think it's gonna calm down and be pretty good. We're kind of near a river area, big ravines with a bunch of hills and stuff, so we're gonna try that area tonight and see if we can get someone calling.
After taking my elk on the first morning of the hunt, we had the rest of the week to try and track down another one for Darcy. But the thing is, we arrived in camp late due to my late fall spearfishing trip, and the elk rut was already tapering off. It was late September already, and we had just barely caught the end of the magic window. By the time we got my bull packed out of the ravine and regrouped, things had really cooled off in the elk woods. We were still seeing sign, but trying to get a bull to talk was proving to be more difficult.
Well, we got out here really early. It's still really dark. But we're gonna try a brand new spot. We're actually not far from a river where we're camping, so you can actually hear it in the background here, and the river's just below us. We're gonna hike a little bit. And supposedly there's some really big bulls down in this area. I mean, usually rivers and elk are a good combination, so. Holy crap, some of these tracks are big.
We had spent the rest of our trip hunting hard, and we had hiked into all the nasty spots. But when the week finally wrapped up, Darcy found herself still holding her tag in her pocket. We had seen some incredible country, and had just started to get familiar with the layout of the land. Some of the wallows and rut pits we found were spectacular, and all the signs were there of an incredible few weeks in the elk woods before we arrived. I've said it 100 times before, that the single best part about the hunting community is the people you meet and the guys you share a camp with. And sitting around the campfire after a successful week in the elk woods never felt more like home. And although we managed to find success early in the trip, it's obvious that we never got to experience the best that this place has to offer. And with that, I truly hope we one day have another opportunity to join Jeff and John in their camp and experience the full potential of this truly special place.
Let's get them straps off and see if we can turn it around now.